Ladies and gentlemen, look like Elizabeth Warren is trying to introduce a bill that will cover renters nationwide from being evicted. They need to do something. This is not the fault of the landlord or the tenants. They really truly need to do something, and it doesn't need to be something in the short term. They need to put something long term into place so that people do not have to worry about these things, especially during a pandemic. You see how everything is going up in the country. How could we even be discussing evicting people? So, this came out on Vox June 29th, 2020. Exclusive Senator Elizabeth Warren introduces nationwide eviction moratorium bill. Yeah, I think that's a good thing, and you need to get moving on this right away. Desiree Kane, an organizer with the Colorado rent strike and eviction defense, says her neighbors are fearful. Many have lost their jobs or wages, and bills are piling up, right? Because we're at 46 million without a job. That's a lot of people, too many people to overlook this type of thing. Mostly the Colorado rent strike and eviction defense is a support group for people, she said, who come in and they're like, oh my God, my entire world is crumbling around me. What do I do? Colorado, like many other states and cities, implemented a temporary eviction moratorium in March to prevent people from losing their homes during the coronavirus pandemic. But the state's moratorium expired on June 13th, though Governor Jared Polis issued a last minute emergency order that required landlords to give tenants more notice about any evictions, effectively delaying many evictions for another 30 days. It was a reprieve, but a temporary and incomplete one. This is the grim reality facing vulnerable renters in Colorado and across the US. Emergency eviction moratoriums are beginning to run out if they haven't already, and housing courts are starting to reopen. The policies that allow renters unable to pay their bills to stay in their home are ending. But the coronavirus crisis is far from over in the country, and while states are opening up, millions have lost jobs or had their hours cut. The end of moratoriums has experts and housing advocates predicting a tsunami of evictions, one that could lead to a spike in homelessness at a time when still the best defense against the pandemic is to stay home. Against this backdrop, Senator Elizabeth Warren is introducing legislation that would implement a nationwide eviction moratorium. The Protecting Renters from Evictions and Fee Act would extend eviction protections for non-payment of rent for 1 year, starting March 27th, 2020. It would substantially expand the current federal eviction moratorium so it includes most renters. Renters who lost their jobs or had their income reduced shouldn't have fear of losing their homes in the middle of a pandemic, Warren said in a statement to Vox. Housing is a human right and an absolute necessity to keep families safe during this crisis, and Congress must step up and help people in their homes. Currently, states and localities have their own rules, which amount to a confusing patchwork of eviction policies. The CARES Act, the massive stimulus package Congress passed in March, imposed a 120-day moratorium on evictions of tenants in federally assisted homes and in homes with federally backed mortgages. About 12.3 million of the 43.8 million rental units in the US, according to the Urban Institute. Those protections are set to expire on July 25th. Warren's bill would keep those safeguards in place for an additional 8 months and extend those benefits beyond the federally backed housing to almost all renters, unifying the mishmash of state eviction moratoriums currently in place. The bill would also bar landlords from charging additional fees for non payment of rent and require landlords to give tenants 30-day notice of eviction after the moratorium ends. So they are pushing legislation in the House, which they should. I think that's the least they should do. I mean, people are unemployed largely because of the coronavirus. They didn't walk away from these jobs or refuse to work. So they're not at fault for that. As our country faces historic level of unemployment and with another first of the month around the corner, many people in my district are hurting. And the last thing they should try to worry about is having a roof over their head. The new legislation is a standalone bill. The HEROES Act, the $3 trillion stimulus package passed by the House that has languished in the Republican-led Senate, includes a similar nationwide eviction moratorium for non-payment for most renters. The HERO Act comes with additional cash stimulus, expanded unemployment insurance, almost $200 billion in financial support for housing and homelessness programs, including $100 billion for emergency rental assistance. There's standalone legislation on this too. That money would also keep payment flowing to landlords, especially smaller landlords who may rely on rental income to pay for building maintenance, utilities, mortgages, taxes, and other expenses. The eviction moratorium does provide a stopgap, preventing renters from becoming immediately homeless during the pandemic. A nationwide policy is also much more effective than the current mess of state and local rules. But the bill would not mean the renter is no longer due to pay their rent or prevent arrears from piling up. And tenants could still be evicted for non-payment after the moratorium expires. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, maybe it's me, but as long as this thing is going on, nobody should be removed. I think what they need to do is come up with a package for the tenants to be paid. Like I said, I don't see how you can come up with some BS about pastors being paid, but you're not going to take care of the tenants so that they don't have to pester anybody about rent. It's the least they can do. You got too many people in this country that will be homeless if they don't do anything. So, well, I guess at least this is hopeful for people that are renting, that some relief may be coming soon. They really need to get this out immediately. It is just so many people that are behind on rent because of their job situation. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this. I think it's a good idea. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.